Dear Simon, the train today was warmer than normal. In the heat, I noticed a man, and the man looked like a cat. I thought about him a lot later on when I got home. I'm still thinking about him now, actually. I thought about him while I was eating dinner. I don't know if I'll think about him tomorrow. I'm feeling sadder than normal, now I've cooled down. I've not seen a real cat in quite a long time. Driving is dangerous, which is why I get the train. Emma.
Dear Emma, hope this finds you well and cheery. Oh, apologies, I started this before your missive arrived. I was sorry to hear of your personal climate and contentment-related cat as man calamity. I always smile at the sign in the tube specifying that dogs must be carried on the escalator. Did I ever tell you I used to work for London Underground? All warmest wishes, Simon.
Hi Simon. I didn't see any signs about dogs on my way onto the train, but I don't think I saw any escalators either. When you worked for London Underground, did you have to take a dog in with you every day? What if you couldn't find one? Did you have to scale the side of the building to get to your desk? I feel like it's unethical to take a dog into work. What if it doesn't want to go? But I know no one really likes taking the stairs either. Thanks to all this dog talk, I've not thought about the catman today, so thank you for that. But I do have some unanswered questions. I look forward to your reply. Emma.
Dear Emma, having awaited yours before drafting mine, I feel more comfortable, hoping this finds you well and cheery. Having never had a dog, the question of taking it to work never arose. I did once take my daughter to work on Take the Daughter to Work Day, which also felt quite cruel, to be fair. When I worked for the Underground, the mass transit system commonly termed the tube rather than the French Resistance, although I did spend summers playing Resistance by the Brook with my friend Peter Creek, which is pretty close to nominative determinism, which is easy for you to say and didn't sound weird till I wrote it down. We had scheduled lifts. Not like timetabled, statutorily listed, which obviated the need to find alternative means of elevation or escalation. Had I scaled the outside, I'd have enjoyed the avant-garde sculptures at closer quarters than accessible from inside. Although some were better viewed from within than from ground level outside. You couldn't see them from anywhere on the ground floor inside. I've worked in 2 buildings with listed lifts. Bits fell off one, the sculpture's bits were shortened on the other. The underground one, which was overground. Epstein's, his statue's bits, not his. Unlike Gill's, whose sculpture's bits bedecking the BBC were hacked off. I love Gill Sands, without serif, not bits, although that's altogether uncomfortable territory. The face of the Underground is not a Gill, as popularly thought, but a Johnston. You can tell by the diamond tittles. All warmest, Simon. P.S. I habitually shorten sign-offs.
Dear Simon, I was feeling quite well, actually, until I received your note. Thoughts of tubes and cruelty and nominative determinism, which I can spell and would thought I would struggle to say out loud, but apparently I can say it, sounds great, have made me feel a bit claustrophobic. And as I make my way through your letter to the part about scaling a building, I felt I could breathe again for just a moment until you started talking about Gill's bits getting hacked off. I think what I'm asking for is to be cheered up somehow. It's probably not your job, and I'm not being that transparent, so I'll try and explain so you can help me work it out. It's as if I'm standing in a pool of slightly warm water, but the pool of water is in a bath. But the bath isn't in the bathroom, it's in the garden, and the garden isn't mine, so other people keep walking through. I'm still wearing shoes and my shoes are wet, and for some reason I took off my socks before I got into the bath, then put my shoes back on, so my socks are on the grass, dry of water, which seems wrong, just like standing in tepid water in a disconnected bath in a garden in winter, when the water should at least be cold. Does that help? Emma.
My dear Emma, for such thou art. I like the medieval sound of that. Medieval, the word, sounds the same however it's spelt. I'm often preoccupied with selecting a candidate by audience, whether to include the A before the E after the I, medieval, and verily whether using the joiny uppy ligature thing is ever anything other than pretentious. To digress is to leave the main subject temporarily, turning aside like Sir Thomas More in 1529, which is just before 3:30. Also, I'm sorry to hear I've somehow sustained your unsettling. Your simile was compelling. I sense you're feeling out of body, as well as out of your socks. You should get inside. Your socks, body, and home. Perhaps a deliberately hot bath inside might help cheer you. Pertinently, as tepid shares origins with a Welsh cognate meaning heat from way back in 1400, that's 2 o'clock, it's no wonder the water's called warmest Simon X. Oh, P.S. If you're reading this out loud, please ensure any audience understands the X is a kiss for you. So Simon Kiss, not Simon X, leaving my family name behind like a civil rights activist. Or P.P.S. When I worked for the Underground, he signalled the end of press notices with ends.
Dear Simon, I'm pleased my simile was compelling for you. It means you likely managed to read to the end. The end is the bit where the words go dark, the bit where the string frays, the bit where oranges stop being oranges, the bit where it's sharp, not smooth, the bit where you chew and feel shame. Did I do it right? I'm trying to take a leaf out of your book when it comes to writing these letters. I don't have any facts, only truths. My favourite letters are E, P and Q. The weather's turned, so I'm cold all the time now, not just when I feel like I'm in the outside bath, but I do feel lighter every time your letters come. I look forward to them. There's a lot of joy in the way you write. I'm sorry if it feels like I'm trying to drag you into the bath. The end is the bit where we figure out what we've learnt from each other. The end is the bit where everything stops being joined up. The end is, maybe, the bit where we tip the bath over and we climb out of it and up the side of a building, where bits of the building fall down onto the bath as we're climbing, where we make our way up to the top to see a really, really good view. Not sure, Emma.
Dear Emma, you've perfectly conjured how it might feel to approach ad finig, near the end, which I hope en route has not felt rather like ad inf, at infinity. In terms of favourite letters, mine are probably your first and your most recent ones. For me, it's felt like a real privilege, albeit with medieval roots in law applying to one person. Privilege is not what many might think, for it blooms ere long in good fortune serving an especially rare or fortunate opportunity to flourish, nourished by links to legalese for to gather. For our purposes here, it soon derives towards picking out words and to speak. I sense now we are perhaps ad fin at the end. Whatever we've done and learned here, it's felt like the right and proper thing to do, for me at least. Proper means fitting and also something for oneself. Something that I hope's been right for you, that's been special for me. A proper privilege, thank you. Warmth, Simon. Ends.